Tonight, at the 62nd Baeksang Arts Awards, Korea's most prestigious ceremony for television, film, and streaming, the industry crowned its best of the year. Held at KOEX Hall D in Seoul and hosted by Park Bo-gum, Bae Suzy, and Shin Dong-yup, the ceremony recognized work released between April 2025 and March 2026. Let's start with Best New Actor and Best New Actress. Congratulations to Lee Chae-min for taking Best New Actor for his performance in Bon Appétit, Your Majesty.
제62회 백상예술대상 방송부문 남자 신인 연기상 폭군의 셰프 이채민님 축하드립니다.
이채민님은 TVN 폭군의 셰프에서
And this win is the definition of a breakthrough, because Lee Chae-min did not enter this drama under easy circumstances. He came in as a last-minute replacement after Park Sung-hoon stepped down due to controversy, and he later shared that he landed the role only 10 days before filming began. On top of that, he had to act opposite Yoona, one of the most established names in Korean entertainment, and a decade his senior in real life. There was real curiosity about whether the chemistry would land. Instead of looking overwhelmed, he stepped into the role with surprising confidence. He plays King Lee Hyun, a Joseon ruler known as both a feared tyrant and an obsessive gourmet whose taste buds shift with the weather. On paper, the part could have flattened into one note, but Lee Chae-min gave him layers: dangerous, wounded, lonely, unpredictable, and strangely charming all at once. His breakdown scenes, particularly when Lee Hyun confronts the truth about his mother's death, drew widespread praise for an emotional intensity few rookies are trusted to carry. What made the moment even sweeter was that Lee Chae-min thanked Yoona in his speech.
정말 사랑하는 저희 유나 선배님, 유나 선배님 덕분에 이현이 탄생한 것 같습니다. 이렇게 사랑받을 수 있었던 이유에는 정말 유나 선배님의 목도 정말 저는 컸다고 생각하고요. 저는 사실 정말 한 게 없습니다.
He said that thanks to Yoona Sunbanim, Yi Haeyeon was brought to life, and that she played a big role in why his character received so much love. The numbers back the recognition. Bon Appétit, Your Majesty topped Netflix's global non-English TV chart for 2 weeks straight and held a top 10 spot for 6. After it wrapped, Lee Chae-min reportedly received over 30 script offers. Extraordinary volume for an actor whose previous credits had him mostly playing high schoolers in titles like Crash Course and Romance. He stood at the center of a major K-drama, led with charisma, and made it clear he is officially one to watch. Now for our actress. Congratulations to Bang Hyo-rin for her performance in Aima.
제62회 백상예술대상 방송부문 여자 신인 연기상 에마 방효리님 축하드립니다.
방효리님은 넷플릭스 에마에서
This is a satisfying win, because Aima was not an easy drama to stand out in. Directed by Lee Hae-young in his first television project, the 6-episode Netflix series is a fictionalized take on the making of Madame Aima, Korea's real 1982 adult film that became a cultural landmark under Chun Doo-hwan's so-called threeist policy of screen, intimate scenes, and sports. She was acting opposite Lee Hani, a seasoned performer with the kind of authority that can dominate every scene. Bang Hyo-rin held her ground. In Aima, she plays Shin Ju-ae, a nightclub tap dancer who lands the lead after the studio bumps the established star to a supporting role. On the surface, Ju-ae looks like a rookie chasing a dream. But the role is more complicated than that. She is ambitious, vulnerable, stubborn, and slowly realizing the industry she wants to enter trades in humiliation, censorship, and pressure from men who already see her as replaceable.
이래갖고 배우 지망생이라니까 쉬워 보여요? 영화 출연시켜준다고만 하면 몇 번을 불려가고 몇 번을 쫓겨나도 매달릴 거라고도 생각하나?
What made it work was how naturally Bang Hyo-rin captured that mix. She let Ju-ae feel young and inexperienced without making her weak, showing the excitement of finally getting a chance alongside the fear of what that chance would cost. She matched Lee Hani not by copying her power, but by giving Ju-ae a different kind of presence. Lee Hani's character had experience, anger, and authority. Bang Hyo-rin's Ju-ae had hunger, uncertainty, and raw determination. that contrast is exactly why their dynamic worked, and why their eventual solidarity, when both women turn against the studio, lands as hard as it does. Now for Best Actress and Best Actor. First, congratulations to Park Bo-young for winning Best Actress for Our Unwritten Soul.
제62회 백상예술대상 방송 부문 여자 최우수 연기상 이지의 서울 박보영님 축하드립니다.
박보영님은 TVN.
This is the kind of win that feels impossible to argue with, because Park Bo-young did not just play one great character, she played two. In Our Unwritten Soul, she takes on the dual role of Yoo Mi-ji and Yoo Mi-rae, identical twin sisters who look exactly alike but live completely different lives. Mi-ji is the more free-spirited twin, a former promising athlete whose life changed after injury. Mi-rae is the polished perfectionist, working in Seoul, carrying the pressure of being the successful one.
미친년아! 너 진짜 죽고 싶어서 환장했어? 아 멍청아. 누가 죽는데? 내가 다 계산했다니까 왜 끼어들어? 계산? 야, 이딴 이불까기가 계산이야? 이딴 계산은 왜 하는데?
The story begins when the twins switch places, forcing each sister to step into the other's world. That is where the performance becomes something special. Park Bo-young was not only playing Mi-ji and Mi-rae, she was playing Mi-ji pretending to be Mi-rae, and Mi-rae trying to survive as Mi-ji. One acting challenge stacked on top of another. She made the audience recognize which sister was really in the scene before the script confirmed it. It was in the smallest choices: the hesitation before speaking, the stiffness in the body, the softness in the eyes, the way one sister seemed to shrink under pressure while the other tried to breathe through pain. It is also worth remembering that Park Bo-young has been carrying Korean television for over a decade. From Oh My Ghost to Strong Woman, Do Bong Soon to Daily Dose of Sunshine. She has built her career on roles that ask her to be bright and warm on the surface and quietly devastating underneath. Our Unwritten Soul rewarded that range with the biggest acting prize Korean television has to offer. Now, congratulations to Hyun-bin for winning Best Actor for his performance in Made in Korea.
제62회 백상예술대상 방송부문 남자 최우수 연기상 메이드 인 코리아 현빈님 축하드립니다.
현빈님은 디즈니.
This is exactly the kind of award that reminds everyone why Hyun-bin is Hyun-bin. Made in Korea is the Disney Plus political thriller from director Woo Min-ho. Hyun-bin's second collaboration with him after the award's juggernaut film Harbin in 2024. The series is also Hyun-bin's first television role in 5 years, since Crash Landing on You. Set in turbulent 1970s Korea and Japan, he plays Baek Ki-tae, a KCIA operative living a double life, by day a government enforcer, by night the architect of an illegal multinational smuggling empire. The role demands presence, restraint, and control. He had to carry the weight of ambition, danger, power, and moral conflict. And he did it with the kind of quiet intensity only a seasoned actor can pull off. He did not need to overact to make Kaite feel formidable. He could dominate a scene with just his eyes, his silence, or the way he held emotion back. That includes the scenes he plays in fluent Japanese, opposite his Yakuza counterparts, which became some of the show's most quietly menacing exchanges.
我々の役に立つと言うんだ。
魔女乗客の中で老人と子供、女を解放するんだ。
なぜだ。
君たちが望むのは革命じゃないか。
Every decision felt heavy. Every confrontation had tension. He gave the drama a kind of old-school leading man gravity, the kind that makes you believe the entire story can revolve around him. After years of proving himself across romance, melodrama, action, and thriller, Made in Korea is another reminder that Hyun-bin is not just a star. He is an actor with range, discipline, and serious screen command. And with Disney Plus already greenlighting a second season, this is one award stretch that is far from finished. For Best Drama, congratulations to you and everything else.
제62회 백상예술대상 방송부문 드라마 작품상 은준과 상현 축하드립니다.
넷플릭스 은준과 상현은 두 친구의 이야기를 통해
And this one is no surprise, especially because the drama also took home Best Screenplay for television. When a series wins both, that says everything. The story was not only beautifully performed, but carefully written from the ground up by writer Song Hee-jin and director Jo Young-min. Released on Netflix in September 2025 and starring Kim Go-woon and Park Ji-hyun, You and Everything Else follows the decades-long friendship between Ryu Yeon-jung and Cheon Song-yeon, two women whose bond is shaped by love, envy, admiration, rivalry, and regret.
10년 만에 연락해서 어떻게 너는 이런 일 아니었으면 내가 너한테 어떻게 연락을 했겠니?
From their school years to adulthood, they keep separating and finding their way back, carrying old wounds that never fully disappeared. When Sang-yeon, now in her 40s, faces a terminal illness and asks Eun-jung to stay by her side, the story becomes about everything left unsaid between two people who have loved and hurt each other for most of their lives. The drama does not soften it either. The script openly engages with assisted dying, a topic Korean television rarely takes head-on. It did not lean on big twists to manufacture tears. It understood that some of the most painful relationships are the ones that resist easy definition. The writing allowed all of that messiness to exist without forcing either character to be simply good or bad. Park Ji-hyun has spoken about how much the role asked of her, at one point describing how she would cry for 2 to 3 hours before filming Sang-yeon's final scenes just to keep her face swollen for the camera. Kim Go-eun, who won Best Actress at last year's Baeksang for Exuma, anchors the drama as counterpoint. With both Best Drama and Best Screenplay under its name, this win is well-earned. And finally, the biggest prize of the night, the television Daesang, the grand prize that sits above every other category. Congratulations to Ryu Sung-ryong for his performance in the dream life of Mr. Kim.
제62회 백상 예술대상 방송부문 대상 유승룡님 축하드립니다.
류승룡님은 JTBC.
This is also Ryu Sung-ryong's first lead role in a Korean TV drama in 15 years. His last was MBC's Personal Taste back in 2010. After a decade and a half of building one of the most respected film careers in Korea, with credits like Extreme Job, Miracle in Cell No. 7, and The Roundup, he came back to television and walked away with the night's top honor. The Dream Life of Mr. Kim aired on JTBC from October to November 2025 and streams globally on Netflix. Directed by Jo Hyun-tak of Sky Castle fame and adapted from a Naver webtoon.
나 아직 더 고생할 수 있어. 낙수야, 나한테 어떻게 이래? 어떻게 나한테 형이 이래? 아니 내가 뭘 그렇게 잘못을 했는데?
저 반포도 맞으세요?
아 예.
The drama follows Kim Nok-soo, a 50-something sales manager who has spent 25 years building what looks like the perfect Korean middle-class life. The sole apartment, the homemaker wife, the son at a prestigious university. Then, it all starts to unravel. What made Ryu Sung-ryong's performance Daesang-worthy was how ordinary he made Kim Nok-soo feel. There were no big speeches or hero moments. The drama's most talked-about arc was a quiet one. Kim Nok-soo receiving a panic disorder diagnosis after years of suppressing every feeling for the company. Ryu Sung-ryong played that slow collapse with the kind of restraint that lets viewers see themselves, their fathers, or their future selves on screen. That is exactly the kind of work the Daesang exists to honor. A performance that does not just dominate a single category, but defines a moment for the industry. And that wraps up the major television winners at the 62nd Baeksang Arts Awards. Huge congratulations to Lee Chae-min, Bang Hyo-rin, Park Bo-young, Hyun Bin, and the entire team behind You and Everything Else. But of course, every awards show has its debates. Do you think someone else should have won? Maybe a performance that got overlooked, a drama that deserved the top prize, or a name that should have been called instead? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear who you were rooting for. And if you want to see the full nominee lineup before you decide, click on this video next to compare the winners with everyone they were up against.